YouTube, how we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo, and this is another episode of YoHoops. I go through every NBA game every day. Today's Sunday, February 1st, new month, and we have a 10-game NBA card. I'm going to walk you through my thoughts and let you know what sides I like, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. No recaps since I didn't have a highlighted play yesterday, but if I'm being honest, I'm glad to put January behind me. I ended the month with a highlighted record of 5 and 20 and an overall record of 113 and 119. Definitely my worst month to date, but I have no doubt in my mind I can go 20 and 5 in February. Let's make it happen. I'm going to be far more selective with my highlighted plays, and like I've been mentioning, I'm switching my format altogether after the All-Star break. I posted my selection for the afternoon game to the channel page. Like I always say, check the post if you're looking for my early action. In our first matchup of the evening, we have the Orlando Magic in San Antonio taking on the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from Charlotte back home to San Antonio. They lost a closely contested game against the Hornets last night, so most of their guys played over 30 minutes. I should point out that it was a morning game though, so they had the entire evening off. They don't have Wemby listed as questionable, so it looks like he's available. Even on no rest, I'm going to lean to the Spurs getting it done. I don't trust the Magic without Franz Wagner, and at the end of the day, they're a measly 8 and 14 against the spread on the road, even with Franz playing. I'm taking the Spurs laying the 4.5 as my first selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Brooklyn Nets in Detroit taking on the Detroit Pistons. Pistons are minus 700 on the money line, and the total is 215.5. At first glance, I wanted to grab the points with Brooklyn, but when I look back, Detroit typically handles business against the bottom tier teams in the league. They beat the Kings by 23 and the Pacers by 43 in their last few games, and the last time they faced the Nets, they beat them by 18 in Brooklyn. Cade's listed as probable, so it looks like he's going to go. At home, I expect the dominant win. I'm taking the Pistons laying the 13 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Sacramento Kings in DC taking on the Washington Wizards. Kings are minus 130 on the money line, and the total is 228.5. The Kings made a pretty significant trade last night. They sent Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder to Cleveland in exchange for DeAndre Hunter. He won't play tonight though, so they'll be shorthanded, and Westbrook is listed as questionable. Even with these guys out, I see it as an even matchup, but in that case, I want the points or plus money in my back pocket. I'm taking the Wizards on the money line as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Utah Jazz in Toronto taking on the Toronto Raptors. Raptors are minus 480 on the money line, and the total is 234.5. I don't like the fact that Keontae George is ruled out for the Jazz, but at the same time, I think 11 is too many points. Lauri Markkanen's in, Nurkic is listed as probable, and I hated what I saw from the Raptors in the fourth quarter of that Magic game. Falling apart by 23 points in a quarter is not a good look. The last time we saw these two teams play, the Raptors won it by 8. I won't be surprised at all when we see another competitive bout. I'm taking the Jazz plus the 11 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Chicago Bulls in Miami taking on Miami Heat. Heat are minus 230 on the money line, and the total is 235. We saw this exact same matchup last night, and the Bulls won that one 125 to 118. Miami was without their top scorer Norman Powell, who's been upgraded to questionable for tonight, but at the same time, the Bulls were without Kobe White, who's been cleared to play. I don't see a huge edge either way, but if you're giving me 6 points in my back pocket with the healthier team, who I just saw win last night, I'd lean in that direction. I'm taking the Bulls plus the 6 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Los Angeles Lakers in New York taking on New York Knicks. Knicks are minus 200 on the money line, and the total is 228.5. I'll definitely be tuned into this one, probably my favorite game on the board. You've got Luka the Don Doncic heading into New York to face his former student in Jalen Brunson. If you guys don't remember, Brunson came up on the Mavs under Luka, and he mimics the best parts of his game. Luckily for JB, he's got the supporting cast around him, and he's at home, where we know the Knicks have played their best basketball all season. Austin Reeves has been upgraded to questionable, so we may see him in the lineup tonight, but I've been let you guys know, I can't trust guys like Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt as my role players. The Knicks are now 17 and 8 against the spread in Madison Square Garden. I think they keep the momentum rolling. I'm taking the Knicks laying the 5 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the LA Clippers in Phoenix taking on Phoenix Suns. Suns are minus 125 on the money line, and the total is 211.5. I know I've said there's no way Phoenix is ending the season covering at an 80% clip, but I don't know if tonight is a spot to fade them. James Harden and Derek Jones Jr. are both ruled out, so it's really Kawhi and their role players against the best home team in the league. Devin Booker is still ruled out, and honestly, I don't know how the Suns' current roster has been so dominant, but I don't see any new reason to fade them. I'm taking the Suns on the money line as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers in Portland taking on Portland Trailblazers. Cavs are minus 160 on the money line, and the total is 229.5. Considering how banged up the Blazers are, the Cavs should easily win this game, but I can't trust them after all the letdowns I've seen this season. They're 10 and 12 against the spread on the road, and now they're without one of their most consistent scorers in Evan Mobley. For Portland, Danny Advia is listed as questionable, but as long as he plays, that's the side I'm on. I'm taking the Blazers plus the 3 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder in Denver taking on the Denver Nuggets. Thunder minus 245 on the money line, and the total is 224. The Thunder are playing through a handful of injuries. As long as Jokic is in, I don't see the Nuggets as 7-point underdogs. Alex Caruso, Jalen Williams, and AJ Mitchell are all ruled out, while Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic have been upgraded to probable. We know what the Nuggets do in the Mile High City. This one's actually easy for me. I'm taking the Nuggets plus the 7.5 as my last and final selection. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I want to get a feel for February, so no highlighted play today. But as you guys know, I'm really looking for that sweep every day. I appreciate the support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo! And until the next one, I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.